Everyone tells us to be kind and put other people's needs before our own, but no one ever warns us that being overly caring and compassionate might have negative consequences. Not everything we put out into the world comes back to us. Reason being, it is teeming with selfless individuals who are well aware of the emotional and financial drain that giving causes on themselves. Have you ever stopped to think about the possible consequences of being overly generous? It seems ridiculous, doesn't it? I know this may sound like a rant, but listen up, fellow Stoics. The ancient Stoics taught us something that we might have forgotten in our rush to be the nicest people possible. Ancient Greeks and Romans, known as Stoics, had some profound wisdom to share regarding the harmony of virtues. They would say to stay strong, but focus on virtue. Generosity is a virtue, of course, but like all good things, it can be overdone. My friends, there are instances when being overly generous can have unexpected consequences. We'll explore Stoicism in depth, looking at the lives of great thinkers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. And I dare you to think about the kindness you've shown in your own life as we go. Do you maintain a steady equilibrium between the two? Or have you, like the rest of us, experienced moments of imbalance? If you're new here and enthusiastic about starting this journey, then subscribe and give that notification bell a good ring. Join me as we explore the delicate dance of virtue, seeking that balance between excess and insufficiency. Number 1. You will expect too much from other people. Rather of relying on the actions of others to bring us joy, the Stoic advised us to just accept things as they are. Without realizing it, practicing emotional separation via giving without expecting too much in return helps us maintain mental calmness and prevents us from being disappointed. When we offer up all we own in the hopes that others will follow accordingly, it becomes difficult for us to be completely selfless. Having gotten others accustomed to having everything taken care of for them, they will take it for granted that you can handle everything in your lives and theirs, even when it's us who needs anything important. Above all others, because after all, you can't expect to care for the needs of others if you neglect your own. When you expect someone to return the favor, you're setting yourself up for disappointment, exhaustion, rage, and misery. From an objective vantage point, though, it's clear that individuals aren't letting you down. They're merely attending to their own responsibilities. Number 2, the only thing people will ever ask of you is something to give. Secondly, the Stoics stress the significance of keeping in mind that one's true value is not found in caving in to the desires of others, but in acting in a good and reasonable manner. This will help you maintain control over your behavior and avoid destructive habits that may be affecting your mental health. You've probably heard this saying your whole life. People are creatures of habit. And it's true. People adapt to patterns, ways of life, and the symphony of events happening around them. The concept of the comfort zone arises from this. If you're always giving to the people you help, they'll start to expect you to do the same always, which will lead them into their comfort zones and make them lazy. On the other hand, if you don't value yourself, no one will look you in the eyes and tell you to think more about yourself and your problems, and they'll just want you to be concerned with theirs. Certainly, you shouldn't expect the people you help to be empathetic towards you. Number 3, your objectives will be disregarded. Adherence to reason and virtue, according to the Stoics, is paramount. To establish boundaries and priorities are personal obligations. To maintain balance and avoid sacrificing who we are and what we value for the sake of other people, we must learn to prioritize the needs of ours before others. Otherwise, we risk not confronting the pain and fear that reside within ourselves. Do you ever wonder how it feels to get home after a long day or spend a weekend by yourself? If you're trying to avoid facing yourself by engaging in other activities, the impact will be magnified. Reason being, you'll eventually have to deal with yourself, and your depressed mood will only worsen if you prioritize the needs of others before your own. Taking care of yourself is crucial to your health. As an example, you shouldn't offer someone a piece of advice unless you've had lived by the advice by yourself. Only then can you hope to make others' life better. To the same extent, You shouldn't volunteer to help someone until you've helped yourself. Number 4. When people see your vulnerability, they will treat you badly. Being strong and independent is something that Stoicism encourages us to strive for through the practice of self-discipline and the establishment of limitations. By taking personal responsibility and standing firm in our beliefs, we can avoid being perceived as weak and gain the respect of those around us. On the one hand, you could come across as an authority in your field if you consistently lend a helping hand to others in need. On the other, failing to establish boundaries can lead others to perceive you as feeble and unfocused. The magic word "no" will cause them to feel something they never imagined they could feel for you. They will hold you in high esteem, and you will attract several opportunists who seek your assistance only when they are in need. The value of being prudent and astute in deciding who to support is emphasized throughout Stoicism. By exercising restraint and maintaining a balanced viewpoint, we are able to discern genuine individuals from those who are seeking to use us. In order to avoid squandering resources on meaningless activities, some people you thought were your friends suddenly only want to spend time with you when they're in a need. So, to avoid being taken advantage of, you should familiarize yourself with the techniques I'll share with you at the end of the video. Number 5. People who are willing to give will always be in short supply. We may create genuine, mutually beneficial connections with the help of our patient judgment. We attract people whose energies are consistent with ours. That is, those with negative, depressing, and malicious intentions will seek us out if our vibration is low. Conversely, we attract positive, enthusiastic, hardworking, joyful people when our vibrations are high. This is why we begin to vibrate at a low frequency when we give to everyone. It drains our vitality. Because of this, we attract both those in need and those who are just looking for an opportunity to take advantage of us without offering any kind of assistance. Number 6. People will judge your actions. The tenets of Stoicism urge us to act morally regardless of the opinions of others. A solid reputation that can endure unfounded allegations is the result of consistently acting in accordance with one's values and principles. Unfortunately, there just aren't that many good people in this world, no matter how much we wish it were otherwise. People will be more suspicious of you if you are one of these people than amazed or grateful. People will soon start to wonder what's wrong with you and what secret ambitions you have if you continue to be so generous. You should keep away from and decline assistance from most people because they are masking wicked intentions. The next step is to examine the measures you can take to prevent others from taking advantage of you. The first tactic is to tune into yourself because it's providing you with some information. Following the Stoic principle of introspection, pay close attention to your emotions. The Stoics held that one must consider oneself in order to comprehend one's own desires and sentiments. If you tune in to your emotions, you'll be able to discern when you're mentally draining yourself from giving your all. You can shift your attention and strike a healthy balance in this way. What is your emotional response to assisting others? Taking care of yourself and prioritizing your needs is a very selfless act that should make you feel absolutely fantastic. Thus, pay attention to your feelings if you're too busy, weary, furious, or used to be. You shouldn't tell yourself a falsehood if doing something you're not required to do make you feel terrible. You should instead learn how your health is impacted by the assistance you're providing. Second tactic, don't be scared to say no. A key takeaway from the Stoics is the importance of striking a balance between the various demands placed on your time and energy. Being able to politely decline an unreasonable or overly demanding request is a sign of self-control. Saying it can be difficult for us. Despite the fact that the word no conjures up images of misery and horror, however, we will never learn to express our limits when someone demands more of us than we are capable of providing. Remind yourself that being pessimistic is the only way to reclaim your independence and stay away from any dangers. Third tactic on the list is making sure you give yourself time and space. It is essential to allow oneself space and time to care for oneself in accordance with the Stoic principles of self-discipline and self-respect. Take a break and do something you enjoy. It could be drawing, exercising, listening to music, sipping tea, or anything else that motivates you. Get your work done quickly so you can give this a go. This needs your undivided attention. In fact, you should make time in your schedule for it daily or weekly. Being helpful and kind to you, rather than the person asking for your support, is the most important thing at that moment. So, politely decline their offer and relish in the solitude you've earned. You can offer to lend a hand at a later time. The fourth tactic is to separate yourself from people that drain your energy. Knowing which relationships enrich your life and which ones deplete it is essential for living according to the Stoic principles of knowledge and self-discipline. Taking care of yourself and displaying Stoic self-control in relationships means avoiding people who take all your energy and never give it back. It's important to understand that attempting to assist an energy thief will provide no results. Their negative outlook on life, constant gripes, and complaints will wear you down. Don't even think about attempting to assist them. If you fix their problems, they'd quit whining. They would not stand for that. In conclusion, Stoic philosophy holds that, as with other things, the middle ground is the ideal option, and generosity is no different. We risk coming out as avaricious and self-centered if we provide just a little. However, if we offer too much, we wind up exhausted physically, emotionally, and financially. So go with the grays. They're still the greatest at striking a balance between prioritizing your own needs and those of other people. And remember, the magic word no is always an option. I really hope these suggestions will be helpful to you now that we've reached the end of our adventure. If you have found this helpful, thought-provoking, or educational, please consider giving it a thumbs up so that other people can learn about the wisdom of Stoicism. Your support is greatly appreciated.